what I wanted to talk to you today about was a saying I heard ages ago, and that was, 3 years ago. Someone said it to me and I laughed, and it kind of stuck with me, and that's, exercise is just movement made hard. And every time I think of people not doing exercise, I'm like, yeah, well, it's hard because it's movement just made hard. Like, there's nothing rocket science about it. It just is you moving harder than you would do when you're not exercising. So it sounds so simple, and the fact that I'm going to be talking about it, you're going to be like, what the fuck's he going to talk about exercise fucking being hard? The reason it's the topic to discuss is because we need to understand people's relationship with hard and why we have so many sedentary issues. And it falls into so many different categories, but one I made a connection to only last year was actually this definition. There's a systemic lack of exercise in our society. Would you agree? And you would agree that exercise is hard. And you would agree that you have to make a very conscious effort to do that exercise. And quite often you are battling demons telling you not to do the exercise, but you do it anyway. I know Ollie does, and you definitely do with your walk-in, Brendan, but we battle these demons to overcome that and do the exercise because we logically go, okay, I'm going to feel better after it. But why are we having those demons in the first place? It makes no sense. We know exercise is good for us, so why don't we just do it? It's because it's hard, and it's because it seems to be a systemic issue that goes back to maybe when we're evolutionary soup. We are, the only organism in the world that actually is, or on this earth, that expends energy as a need. Every other organism is trying to sustain energy. They're trying to reduce their expulsion of this energy. They're trying to balance out in their system. They reduce how much they move because they don't know when the next source of energy is going to come from. Whereas I saw an Instagram video the other day and I saw 4 people on the ground puffing and panting. And if that was in the wild, you'd think that they've either just run away from a saber-toothed tiger or they're having a heart attack. Not that they've actually inflicted that on themselves. So we are struggling to do basic exercise. And it brings it back to the fact it's hard. We don't want to expel energy. It's innate in us. It's genetic. Evolutionarily, we do not want to give that energy up. We want to keep it. And really, the interesting connection I made was it came down to the definition of Australia and terra nullius. And I don't know if you know this, the qualifying criterias for it to be an uncivilized place, that there's no one around. And we know that's not true, but one of the reasons why they justified it was because there was no sedentarism. There was not a society that was sedentary. It was a hunter-gatherer society. Thus, they have not figured out the enlightenment of sedentarism, of being lazy. It blew my mind. We are a society of sedentary people, not because of just the fact that exercise is hard. It's because it is innately inbuilt in us to be a cultured, civilized society. We have to show sedentarism. And you can see it filter everywhere. You know, like, we become more sedentary, but we grow in other aspects. We grow in civilization and culture and everything. If we're actually out there tilling the land and working hard to get something back, that is not a civilized approach. If you saw a tradie's hands to a banker's hands, you look at how much one of those is making, well, in this current environment, maybe with the tradies nailing them, but traditionally, is it the white collar worker is the one that makes the money, but they've got less dirt on their hand. We reward doing nothing with everything. So we very rarely get a reward for expelling that energy. So it's innately inbuilt in us not to do that. And the reason I'm talking about this is because as soon as you understand that we have got everything against us to expel that energy, and that even the people that do it routinely and are just ripped as, battle the same demons, they just have a better mindset to overcome them. If we realize that everyone is going to struggle with that and that it goes so deep, we can't expect people just to do exercise. We can't just expect to give you an exercise and you'll do it. The likelihood is you won't, because there's too many demons, there's too many barriers. We live in a sedentary society, and that's civilization. We need to be smart with how we use exercise. We know the benefits of it. They know the benefits of it. I'm pretty sure if you go to the general populace and say, hey, what's good for you? And they're like, oh, don't eat enough, exercise more, sleep better, drink water, meditate currently. And if you say, what's bad for you? And they're like, smoke, drink, don't eat sugar. It's like, what do you do? Well, I do none of the good stuff and I do all the bad stuff. I'm dealing with some stress right now. Or something like that. We innately don't do, we know what to do to be good for us, but we're challenged by it. So coming into, a health care environment, we need to care for people. And by caring, we need to understand these underlying subliminal challenges they're going to be overcoming to engage with activity. So our job is to find out what's meaningful to them, and it can be as small as a 4 to 10 minute walk once a week, and it can have a significant improvement in their overall pain. But understanding that there are these barriers is the first challenge we have as healthcare practitioners in getting people to live better quality of life, better movement, doing the things that they love again.